coming back to school with me. We could have done it all so easily.
Hi, my name is Craig Thompson Wood. I'm the board game teacher. Thanks for coming to my games room. Today we're taking a look at Cytosis by Genius Games. Now, a funny story about Cytosis is I was introduced to this game a long time ago by my friends Maui and Kyle, who are the owners of Level Up Games. And they knew, with me doing this channel and everything, they thought that this game was absolutely perfect for my channel. And it is. It really is. And I'll, sort of spoiler alert, I love this game, and I think it's absolutely phenomenal for anybody who's teaching cellular biology or in any kind of biology. It's a really wonderful educational game. But it's taken me this long to actually get around to making the video for, but it's already been on the Board Game Teacher playlist on levelup.ca for some time now, which is totally okay by me because I do highly recommend this game. And if anybody who's asked about any games to do with science and stuff, I will always mention not only Cytosis, but also Genius Games, because I just think that what they're doing is absolutely amazing with the games that they're putting out and how fun they are and how much educational material is within each game. So without any further gushing, let me take you to the report card. So looking at the report card for Cytosis, I'm going to give the number of players a B+. 4 is my usual sort of range for a B, so playing up to 5 players makes it a B+ in my books. And I think plays 2 beautifully, plays all the way up to 5 beautifully, so any numbers in between is going to be great for your small group center or however you're doing it in your classroom or at home. For learning, I'm going to give this game an A+++++. I mean, this game is amazing. It is absolutely phenomenal. Like, I am not scientifically minded. I mean, I was the person who, in high school, I had to take science up to grade 10, and once grade 10 science was over, I dropped it like a hot potato. It was gone. It was out of my curriculum, it was out of my thought, out of my mind. So a lot of the stuff that's in this game, I never learned about, or if I did learn about it, I'd forgotten about it, because it was just nothing I ever used, nothing that was anything I ever planned on using, so I just never committed it to memory. But in playing this game, I find myself talking about the functions of a cell. I talk about the parts and what they do, and the processes and what each thing's doing. And it's all in process of the game. Coming from me, a person who's not a science-minded person, self-admittedly, to being able to play this game and how much I've learned from playing it. And the more you play it, the more you get familiar with these parts and what they do and everything like that. It's just absolutely amazing. And I think part and parcel too, tied in with the fun, which I'll be talking about right after, because the learning is fun. I mean, it is, and that's what helps to make the learning so great, is because you're taking what is an incredibly dry subject of like cellular biology, but making a really fantastic game out of it, and the learning just comes right through. It's, again, not like one of these trivia games or anything, so if you make sure you watch my extended video if you want to see how this game is played, but it's just amazing. For fun, I'm going to give the game a B+. I think this game is a ton of fun. It's like in the style of what we call in modern board games today a worker placement game. So you're using your different workers to take different actions on the board, but not if somebody's already taken that action before you. And so you're trying to time what you need, when you need it, where you're going, and how you're doing it. It's a very tense, fun game that you're doing all these different actions to do the different things you need to do, which would be all functions within a cell. I really just do enjoy this kind of game, and I think that with these kinds of games where there's multiple paths to victory, multiple things you could be doing, lots of different strategies that you can employ, it's just a really wonderful game. For time, I'm going to give the game a C. I mean, this game is, if I'm recommending this to teachers, this is the kind of game which you are not going to be playing in one period. Not unless your periods are incredibly long periods, or if you're having a back-to-back time. But even in my school, back-to-back would be 80 minutes, and this game says 60 to 90. So depending on the number of players that you're going to have and things, you're really going to need to be carving out a large block of time to do this, or maybe play it in parts. So they do part in one day, maybe take pictures of where things are, and then set it up and play again the next day or something. I don't really know how that would work in the thing, but again, even if you're playing, just part of it, like, I mean, I guess to play the full game, to really get the full extent of it, you're going to need to play the full time, but maybe there's a way you could modify it, or at least just play through some of it to get some sense of it. Or if you're playing at home, then absolutely no problem, because like I said, I think there's just so much good to be had in this game, and what you're learning from it, it's just unfortunate that it does take quite a long time to play, which would make it difficult to implement in classrooms. But if you're, I haven't taught high school before, so I'm not sure how teachers might go about doing that, but if you can find a way to incorporate this into your classroom somehow, and you're a biology teacher, I say 100% go for it. For cost, I'm also going to give the game a C. I mean, I think it's a great value. It's a, for what you're getting in the box, it's a great game, and it's definitely a great teaching tool. Unfortunately, it's about $45, and for 5 players, $45, I mean, if you're ever dreaming of getting a class set, it's going to cost you a small fortune to do so. And again, not that I'm saying it's not worth it, because I think there's a lot of good to be had in this game, but it would probably be one that would be better being done in a center where one group is playing while the other groups are doing other things, then rotate through. So if you are a lover of science, or somebody who's teaching science, or want to learn more about science, particularly about cellular biology, then check out Genius Games for start. I think that their whole lineup of games is absolutely phenomenal. Not only games, they do some books and stuff as well, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But check out Cytosis. So one other thing I just wanted to talk about with this game, and this is something that Genius Games does with every game that they make, is that they include information which contains all the background information of what's going on. So if you want more detailed information, sort of follow up for discussion or independent learning, if this is something that you're doing on your own, they have these things. Like, this is Cytosis, the science behind the game. So they have, it's just 2 double-sided pages here of information of all the different parts and what they're doing and what the processes are and things like that. So if this is something that you would like to know more about, or if this is something that you're teaching about and want the students to know more about, certainly encourage them to read as they're playing and talk about these things as you're playing as well, just to help to reinforce the knowledge and everything. They are creating these carbohydrates, they're creating the energy, they're producing the proteins, and doing all these things through the processes of a cell, and gaining a great understanding, because it's now more, they turned something like cellular biology into a kinesthetic thing where they can actually manipulate and do things on their own, and that's just a wonderful, amazing thing. So check this out, and check out the whole game of Cytosis. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you have any questions about Cytosis or Genius Games or anything else about board games or any games you might like to recommend, please leave me a message in the comment section below. If you have any ideas for other maybe companies out there that are doing some great work with educational board games, please let me know about that too. Message me in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to reach out to them. Well, until next time, I'm Craig Thompson with the Board Game Teacher, saying thanks for coming to the classroom.
Are you coming back to school?